Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the ICC Hour here on SuperTalk Mississippi 101.9 FM. I'm Adam Gore, the Sports Information Director and Director of Media Relations here at ICC. And I just want to say thanks for joining us for today's show. I know I say that each week, but I do really mean that. And especially on a day like today, I hope you guys can find a warm spot to enjoy the show. And as always, the ICC Hour is presented by our friends at Renasant Bank.
Why settle for a checking account that just holds your money? Renasant Rewards Extra gives you so much more. Like savings at more than 400,000 retailers, 24/7 roadside assistance, a cell phone protection plan worth up to $400, $25 in ATM fee refunds per monthly cycle, and a great interest rate when you meet 3 easy qualifications. Get extra today at rewardsextra.com. Renasant Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
On this week's show, we're going to be joined by ICC President Dr. Jay Allen. We'll take a look back at last semester and some of the things we were able to learn last semester when it comes to providing a high-quality, flexible, and affordable education during a pandemic. We'll also talk about how ICC is applying those things that we learned to better meet the needs of our student body, faculty, and staff, and the community this coming semester. And then we'll also close things out by taking a look at some of the goals that ICC has in the future as well. Then we'll turn our attention to athletics when we talk with first ever volleyball coach Priscilla Morgan, women's basketball coach Robin Porter, and men's interim coach Eric Bozeman. Now, it was announced over the weekend that Coach Bozeman has been elevated to the interim head coach, with Coach Grant Pate missing the season due to illness, as he is currently undergoing radiation and chemo treatments for the next several weeks. So we do encourage you, as well as we are right now, that our thoughts, our prayers, and there's a lot of love that's being sent the way of Coach Pate and his family. I had a chance to talk to Coach Pate briefly last week, and he expressed his extreme appreciation for all the love and prayers that have been sent his way, so those will be continued for sure. Now, it's a jam-packed show, and before we get to our interview with Dr. Jay Allen, I do want to remind you that there is time to register for classes and become a member of the ICC family this semester. Registration for traditional full-term day and night classes will continue through this Friday. That's January the 15th. Financial aid is available, as well as adult learner scholarships. For more information, you can call 662-862-8000. That's 662-862-8000. Or you can email eadvisor@iccms.edu. That's eadvisor@iccms.edu. Of course, we'll have that information available again throughout the show. It goes without saying, of course. So let's take a quick 1-minute timeout and come back with Dr. Jay Allen here on the ICC Hour.
Renasant Rewards Extra is the checking account that checks all the boxes. Roadside assistance? Check. Cell phone insurance? Check. More than 400,000 local shopping discounts? Check. Up to $25 per month in ATM refunds and a great rate? Check. All in an easy-to-use mobile app. To open an account or find out more about Renasant Rewards Extra Checking, go to renasantbank.com or visit us at any of our more than 190 locations throughout the South. Renasant Bank. Understanding you. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Registration for the spring semester is now open, and classes are filling up fast at Itawamba Community College. Named the #1 community college in the state for the second straight year by Wallet Hub, ICC offers 5 different class options with locations in Fulton, Tupelo, and Belden that will help save you time and money while preparing you for the future. Email one of our friendly advisors at eadvisor@iccms.edu or call 862-8000 to sign up for classes today. Itawamba Community College, the best start here. And welcome back to the ICC Hour here on SuperTalk Mississippi. As always, the ICC Hour being presented to you by our friends at Renasant Bank. Well, yesterday started the new school year, and we're going to start off the school year by talking with Dr. Jay Allen, president here at Itawamba Community College. And Dr. Allen, before we get into the conversation, how was your holidays and how's life?
Well, it was pretty good. It always too fast.
Yeah.
The COVID makes things so difficult and yet at the same time a little interesting because we're doing things different than we've always done it. Just like we did this fall, different than we've always done it, but yet successful. And I think it was the same with the holidays. I think it was a success. We kept ourselves safe and healthy, but at the same time, it definitely did not feel like it always has felt.
Absolutely. Well, before we talk about this semester, let's look back at last semester.
Yes.
What were some of the biggest takeaways that you had from last semester?
Probably, Adam, I guess the thing that I have to say as a college, I think one thing we could say is we found out we could do something that we didn't know we could do, because we never knew what COVID would ever be like, a pandemic would be like. It's not something we think about on a regular basis. And, what I'm proud about is we rose to that challenge. And it wasn't a clear challenge.
Right.
It seemed to change daily, if not hourly at times. But all parts of our institution seemed to find a way to persevere, to make it work, to really dig down and go, what's the essence of what we're doing? And it's making people's lives better. It's engaging with our students, whether they be in a credit classroom or a non-credit classroom, but it's engaging with them and getting them to their educational goals. Well, we were able to do that, and I'm really, really proud of that. That is not a one-person solution. That is an everybody solution. Our grounds, maintenance, janitorial, they had to do a lot of things to get us to the point where we could start classes this fall. Instructional, tremendous amount of changes that they had to put in place in a pretty short amount of time. Doing all of those things, still keeping people safe and healthy.
Yeah, and that was going to bring up my next part. It kind of reflects our mantra of a family.
Yeah,
it's like
no doubt.
Everybody was all in
That's right.
In the situation from top to bottom, and everybody played an equally important role.
That's right.
So just talk about that mantra, that mindset of, we're here to serve these kids. We want to give these kids the best safest educational opportunity.
Well, I'll just use an example from your world in sports information and just sports in general. We're going to play football. That was a decision we made as presidents in Mississippi that we're going to play football this fall, or this past fall. And so we charged out to do that with the blessing of the NJCAA. But we also realized there's going to be some requirements on that stadium. We can't just fill it up like normal. Well, again, talking about everybody all in, it took a team. Our IT team had to sit down with sports information, with my office, and with others and athletics to figure out how can we create a ticketing system that allows us to control both the volume, but to also get the appropriate tickets to the participants' family members, coaches, and the like, our students and faculty and staff, and to the general public. And we created that in-house. And the ability to do that, and we will use that all throughout the spring with other sporting events as well as other ticketed events such as music performances and the like, where we, again, need to control our crowd different than we ever have before. That's that all-in mentality, and it's not just one department. It takes all of us. And so I think that's an example. Instructionally, we developed new instructional methods that we've never used before, Zoom, to basically fill in the gap. Lecture-wise, so it's face-to-face, but yet it's face-to-face through technology. And that's a tremendous plus for us.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of great advancements or takeaways 3, 4, 5 years down the road that we're doing it small now, but it's going to be a lot bigger a little bit later on. All right, so yesterday, first day of classes. Today we got students on campus as well. A unique buzz, but still a buzz on campus because I want to tell you, and you're like me, campus is different. It's still a great place to be when there's no students here, but when students are here, you can't beat it.
You can, and it's I live on campus, and so I really miss it when people aren't on campus. It's a very different atmosphere in the early part of the summer when there's not as much going on, Christmas break and the like. So it's great to have people back on campus en masse, and our students especially. But what's also a little different always in the spring is the weather. We could be in shorts the first day of class, or we could be wearing heavy coats the first day. You never know, but that always adds a different feel to the spring semester because people aren't maybe out as much as they normally would be hanging out on the outside of our buildings on campus, but we need them to do that due to COVID, and we've created those safe places for them to physically distance outside as well as inside. It's just that we probably will see a little more of that. But it's always exciting to have our students back on campus. Getting to use, like at our Tupelo campus, our academic and student center, the new building there. This will be the second semester really it's been in use. And students are starting to feel more and more at home there. And so those are some of the other exciting parts. We will have a new, and this is something we might ought to talk about in the future, but we will have a new simulation lab at our health science building at the Tupelo campus. And so that'll be a neat little rollout ribbon cutting we'll be doing coming up later this spring or in early spring. And so that will add a whole new feature. But again, part of that is to take advantage of the fact that we know right now we could lose tomorrow our clinical sites due to COVID. So we need to have that ability to serve more students in a really an even better way than we have in the past. So we've learned a lot, and we've taken that and built on it.
And something we really were able to build on was our workforce this past semester. Of course, a lot of that due to extra funding, but that's really taken off. It has created a lot of new opportunities, better opportunities for these students that necessarily don't want to go into a 4-year program. Now, they can build from that in the future, but if they're looking to get polished and get ready to go into a lot of work that can make a lot of good money, the workforce training has really skyrocketed.
You're right on, Adam, and it's kind of a pipeline scenario. It's that short-term training gets you into that pipeline, and we hope that you will continue to add on to that down the road and add different levels of training all the way through, hopefully to a degree at some point. But it's the beauty of that is with the help of the Workforce Cares Act dollars from the state legislature. Donnie Bell was really a crucial part in the House, and then Senator Parker over in the Senate really helped us make that happen. And we were able to take those dollars and pay for short-term training as well as to buy new equipment and capabilities, not only for today but for years, really for decades to come. And so it's going to be a game changer for decades for our region of the state.
Absolutely. And, we talked about the funding, the CARES Act that came in clutch. I don't think we can really sing the praises enough about that money that got put into that, because I don't think people realize, I don't think they're realizing it now, but at the time I don't think people realized how hard of a punch this was.
Well, and we were pretty successful with doing some off-campus COVID testing in the early part of the fall, and then we realized that was becoming less and less dependable just because of sheer volume at those places outside of the college needs. So we decided to lease our own piece of equipment and then purchase the test. Well, that's a large investment on our part. Not one we were budgeted for or planned to make by any stretch of the imagination. We built our budget back in late June last year. Well, now here we sit with that need, and we were able to do that with those CARES Act dollars, and that will carry us through this spring and summer, and we'll see where we go with that in the fall. But that's been a huge improvement to our ability to manage this virus. Because it's one thing to know you might have been exposed or you might be positive, but to have a definitive answer and that we can do it on our timeline is huge and dependable. We know that we can get it done every day here on campus.
Absolutely. Well, that kind of is a good segue into the next one. So now that, and I hate to say we've gotten used to the situations as they are, but we have. We've adapted and we've recovered. Right. So what is your goals for this semester?
Well, I guess the easy one is first and foremost that we're going to survive it, that we're going to not allow COVID to totally ruin what we're doing.
Right.
And I shouldn't use the word survive, but we're going to overcome.
Right.
We're going to achieve well beyond what maybe we should be capable of. If everybody does their part as they did in the fall, I think we're going to be there. We've got a vaccine here, you could say. It's still coming. We don't know the impact that it will really have on our ability to move around and exist in society. 2-shot process. So there's a lot yet to be known. So I have to look at it as we're going to plan for the spring just as we did in the fall, almost like there was not a vaccine even in the realm of possibility. Because if that helps us, then that's just icing on the cake, you'd say. My goal is for student success to still occur at an unbelievable rate. Anytime we settle for just mediocrity in the realm of student success, we're in trouble. We've got to be looking for our students to grow academically, socially, their ability to give back to the communities that they're going to live in and have been brought up in. We need that to grow at an unbelievable rate. And so I'm going to look for that to occur again. We've proven in the fall we can do it. And so we're going to continue to do that. And then I think for every student to have the opportunity for engagement, for success on off the field, the court, the stage, the classroom, the internship site or apprenticeship site, we want to be successful wherever they are. And we've got to work to continue to give them that opportunity and manage our ability to offer them that. and not let it be taken away from us because of COVID.
And I think a large part of that success, and it kind of circles back to what we originally talked about, is the fact that students feel comfortable, they feel safe, and they feel like, again, that we're here for them more than just students.
That's right.
I think a large part of that success comes with that peace of mind that our students have.
And you know, as I think about it, as I talk with with colleges within our state, with colleges, especially community colleges outside of this state, across the Southeast region and beyond, I find that we did some things much like most other institutions. But I also find that we did things significantly different, and in my opinion, in a very successful manner that moved the needle for us. I'm not negating what they do because that worked for them. But for us, this really worked for us. And I think that's what's important, is that we've got to take the best of all practices, figure out what works for ICC and the people we serve, and then we put that in play. There will be new challenges, I can guarantee you that, because if we've learned anything from COVID, what was yesterday may not and probably will not be tomorrow. And so we're going to, even though we think we may be on the downhill slope, there will still be some really tough days ahead. And so we're going to manage each of those as they come.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit athletically. You touched on it earlier. It's going to be a fun spring, 100 games in a span of 100 days.
It's going to be wild.
But again, that focus on safety first.
Yeah.
You know, we do want our kids to be successful on the court, but we do want them to get that education, stay healthy, but also stay competitive.
Well, it really boils down, Adam, to personal responsibility. We all have to take our role in that serious, that I'm going to maintain my distance when and where I can. I'm going to wear a mask when and where I can. I'm going to avoid scenarios that are uncomfortable. I've been in those. I've walked into some restaurants or some businesses, and I'm like, you know, this one's not as comfortable as this one, and so I'm going to have to distance myself in this setting because it's not as easy for me to have social distance.
Right.
An outdoor sporting event is different than an indoor sporting event. We will have guidelines already from the state. We may have changing guidelines from the state about indoor versus outdoor, and so we'll manage those. But we need each player, each fan to really be responsible every day so that we can continue to come and support each other and to participate.
Absolutely. Well, anything else you'd like to add before I cut you loose?
Well, you mentioned the spring, 100 games, 100 days. I hadn't thought about it that way. 10 sports at one time. We've never had that. It's going to be unique. And not only have we never had that, we had one playing ultimately their whole season in the fall, football, and volleyball come in on new in the spring. So we've only had 10 sports in the past. Now we have 11. So 10 will be playing this spring. What a tremendous challenge as we roll through this spring semester. Just think about 2 athletic trainers, 2 bus drivers, or really one and a
right
half.
now,
And so we were looking for another one.
Yeah.
You've got 3 people in sports information. That's a lot of ground to cover with a small number of people. Our coaches will do what they do, and I hope and pray that they will be able to keep everybody healthy and motivated and going and managing through everything that will occur this spring. It's all the supporting areas that I really worry about. Our IT infrastructure to be streaming as much as we're going to be streaming. I feel certain that it'll work, but you just never know. But y'all's ability to keep rolling with all of those. I mean, it's going to be some challenges out there. If you're bored this spring and we can allow the viewership, the actual visitors to come watch games, the reality is you shouldn't be bored because there's going to be more than enough things to watch. And you throw into the mix our performing arts groups that will be performing this spring in probably some unique ways compared to the past, but they will be. So it's going to be something for everybody covering the whole spring semester.
Absolutely. And you kept using the word challenge. And life's fun. Life's fun when you got challenges.
That's correct.
So
it can be boring otherwise.
Yes.
And this is not boring.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Allen, I appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Adam.
I know you got a lot of things you got to get to as well. Hey, let's hit the ground running.
And I just hope more and more people will come see us at ICC.
Absolutely. We'll be back more of the ICC Hour right after this.
Here, you can be your best. The best train here. Learn here. Succeed here. Perform here. Win here. Thrive here. Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
Why settle for a checking account that just holds your money? Renasant Rewards Extra gives you so much more. Like savings at more than 400,000 retailers, 24/7 roadside assistance, a cell phone protection plan worth up to $400, $25 in ATM fee refunds per monthly cycle, and a great interest rate when you meet 3 easy qualifications. Get extra today at rewardsextra.com. Renasant Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Maybe your story has you performing your new song in front of a crowd, getting to play your favorite sport, or enjoying a horseback ride in the country. At Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our group of skilled surgeons understand your need to continue your story. That is why we are the preferred choice for orthopedic care. Thank you for choosing us. Our story is you. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi.
Today tastes like game day at home, like assigned couch seating. Tastes like coffee table dining and an ice-cold Coke to cool down the heat. It tastes like the game you've waited for all week with friends you've known your whole life. Today tastes like watching football is supposed to, and it never tasted this good. Coca-Cola, together tastes better.
Registration for the spring semester is now open and classes are filling up fast at Itawamba Community College. Named the #1 community college in the state for the second straight year by Wallet Hub, ICC offers 5 different class options with locations in Fulton, Tupelo, and Belden that will help save you time and money while preparing you for the future. Email one of our friendly advisors at eadvisor@iccms.edu or call 862-8000 to sign up for classes today. Itawamba Community College, the best start here. Welcome back to the ICC Hour presented by our friends at Renasant Bank. They are the bank that understands you, and you can see why when you visit RenasantBank.com. Now, as we talked about in the start of the show, the athletic season is kicking off this week with the women's and men's basketball teams traveling to ASU Mid-South for a pair of scrimmages, and the volleyball team set to host a tri-match scrimmage this weekend in Fulton. Of course, as we all unfortunately know, those are subject to change. But earlier this week, I had a chance to catch up with Coach Priscilla Morgan to talk about the upcoming volleyball season at ICC. Actually, let me say this, the first ever volleyball season at ICC. So let's go to that interview here on the ICC Hour. Now talking with Coach Morgan, the first ever volleyball coach here at ICC, getting geared up for the first ever volleyball season here at ICC. And Coach, I appreciate your time today. So let's talk about it. A lot of buzz around the campus right now with the girls. The first season about to tip off here pretty soon.
Yeah, a season delayed, but our goals are still the same from day one when I had the opportunity to come on board and start building the program. It's been a long time coming for me, and it's been a long time coming for those first commitments that committed early in the early signing period back in fall of 19 actually. And so we're excited to finally get this season off the ground. It's probably a lot different than what we thought it was going to be originally, but the important thing is that we're getting to have a season. And even though we've been talking a lot about this here coming back from Christmas break, is even though it's a different time of the year and it might be shorter, our goals haven't changed. We have some pretty lofty goals for a first year program.
All right, let's talk about some of those goals. What are some of those goals?
Yeah, so, one of the key factors in building this program is going after the best players here in the state of Mississippi. So part of the early strategy in our recruiting was going after the all-star members of that North All-Star team back in 1920 year. We signed 8 of those players. So strategy behind there is that a lot of them had played together, and we would have a lot of team chemistry early due to them having some knowledge of being on the court together. And so during the fall, we had a really successful 60-day training window, relatively little COVID cases that we were able to get in all 4 scrimmages. And so, goal 1 is to be the best junior college in Mississippi. With Pearl River being the first, they've gotten a little bit of, track on us. We'll have some sophomores and such. But we do believe that we are ready to take that title. And then the second goal is to be able to go and compete in our region with the Florida schools. So we hope to be competing against there and make it to the national tournament. That's the big goal, but we do plan on being the best in Mississippi, and we do plan on being the best within the region.
And you talk about that region play, the world the way it is today, it's tough to make a schedule. And there's only 3 teams in the state that play in the conference. So talk about the schedule and just some of the challenges, one, against the teams, but 2, presents to be able to find teams to play.
Right. So coming on board, we knew it'd be quite a while before we would be able to establish a full conference conference schedule in the state of Mississippi. So we knew playing the Alabama community colleges would be a key factor in that, and then branching out into Florida and such when they had opportunities. So right now we have 30 matches on it, which is a pretty normal season for us, and the key difference is home matches. Yeah. So of those 30, I believe we've got 10 slated at home and 20 on the road. So the key part of our schedule is learning how to compete and get ready of what our training is here and take it on the road and showcase our abilities, right? So we are doing a couple of crossover type of style with Alabama community colleges. For instance, Wallace State, we're planning a tournament over there, and then we're also traveling over to Pensacola to participate in a Pensacola State tournament, which will have the Florida teams. Right. So even though we are young and is a team of entire freshmen, we're going to be over there playing these best schools in Alabama and Florida, because in order to be the best, we got to play the best.
Absolutely. Now, you had a very successful fall. And you talked about it. It's a team full of freshmen, so it's very unique. So it's a big jump from high school to collegiate play. So talk about the fall and some of those, I hate to call them growing pains, but that's what they are. Whenever it comes to learning to make that transition from high school to college.
Absolutely. Obviously, you got a new system that you're implementing, and we're calling the defensive different and our offensive plays different than what they're used to. So once we get past all that key verbiage through classroom sessions and film review, we're trying to just find those connections that work together. So the biggest area that we're getting them from coming from high school ball to college ball is getting them to be smart players. We have a very aggressive competitive team. That is also one of our weaknesses, is that we can make some really unforced errors on ourselves, not so much what the other team's doing to us, but by the points that we're giving away by swinging at balls that we shouldn't, or serving errors and things of those errors. So a lot of our training right now is about reducing that and teaching them how to be smarter players so that we can be competitive and we're not shooting our own self in our own foot.
Absolutely. Now, Coach, one of the parts, it's an unfortunate part of this season is COVID. Mm-hmm. It's not when, it's almost if. But it's almost like injuries. You can't really plan for it. So, you know what? I know the girls have already talked about what they're doing, but what are some of the steps that you're doing as a coach, as a team, to try to get it through the whole season? Yeah,
my coaching philosophy has always been, train your players to do multiple things. So sometimes they might come in here and say, well, Coach, I'm just a middle blocker. Okay, well, if you don't win the middle position, you might get bumped to the right side. You've got to hit high balls, which means you might also need a pass to hit. So here we are. She needs to be able to play in a different zone on the net that she's comfortable with. She needs to be able to do some passing reps. So every single day at practice, our players are taking reps on the ball that they might necessarily brought that before they came to ICC, something I've always believed in. Because in other seasons there have been injuries, and so that next girl is up. And I think in a COVID year where we'll have positive tests on girls and injuries, being able to have these players that are ready to step in different roles and be comfortable because we've been training that in their gym will be a key factor so that we can continue to be competitive.
Well, one cool thing that I think is for this season and for the girls and you as well, this is the first ever season. You're setting the bar of expectations. So talk about those expectations, not only for the team this year, but setting it for expectations of the future.
Yeah, a lot of it is we talked about what our motto wants to be in this first year. And our motto for this first year, being the inaugural season, is demand more, expect less, and to leave a legacy. So when we talk about when our players are 4 years down the road and they're graduating from their bachelor's degree at whatever 4 years that they end up at, we want them to look back and say, well, what key factors about our team culture are still present from that team when those new members are coming on, right? And what were you living in that from behind us? So, next year when we add into 21, which we've completely completed actually that signing class with those other 4 young ladies that are coming on board, it's starting to getting them acclimated to what that culture part looks like. And in fact, even in 22, because we have 3 verbal commitments even in that 22 class. So getting them to say and define who and what they are about and leaving that behind, that's really key for what we're doing in that realm of our program.
And then talk about the starting of the program and what does it mean for the sport in this area, because it's a rapidly growing sport.
It's huge.
And it's just skyrocketing.
Yeah, with our Mississippi High School Association, we're no longer offering slow pitch softball. A lot of our high schools have added women's volleyball, girls volleyball to their fall schedule. So we have a lot of new programs. In fact, 2 local programs in this area, in this region of the state, made it to the state tournament this year. So we're really happy to see the growth in that going. So I think it's the important thing is that, as we're doing the camps and clinics out in the community, that our local girls can see that there is an opportunity to continue to go in the sport and use volleyball as a platform to gain your education and kind of inspire them, where before maybe those avenues were not always open to them. And so I really encourage the local community that is building and growing our sport to get out here and watch us play, watch Northwest, Pearl River, and get used to seeing that and start setting some big goals. So even that 12-year-old little girl that's out there watching us right now, we're eyeballing you. We're looking for you to be the future 2026 recruiting class at ICC.
I like it. Well, Coach, is there anything else you'd like to add before I let you go?
We wish all of our fans down here. Looks like at times we might have limited fans, but we know that our sports info department does a great job of always broadcasting ours. So please log in, support us, grow and learn with us. I know the game is something not everyone is used to, so we hope that you come out and learn some stuff. It's a fun sport. There's always balls being hit and there's new points always being scored. So we hope that the community loves it and the campus loves it as much as we do, and that we'll grow that love of volleyball here at ICC in our community as well.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow is what we anticipate, what we work for, what we want to improve. At Itawamba Community College, we offer the courses, pathways, and the training that can help turn your vision of tomorrow into a reality. So why wait? Your tomorrow can start today at Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
Davis Ford in Fulton is your Ford dealer for new cars, trucks, and SUVs and has a wide inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Find your next dream car or truck from our Ford showroom or go online to davisfordsales.com and search our new and used inventory to see what is on our lot. So stop by and test drive the all-new fuel-efficient Ford Focus or Ford Fusion or the new Ford Explorer or F-150. Go further with Davis Ford, 904 West Main Street in Fulton or online davisfordsales.com.
Ooh, fumble. Let's give her a Renasant replay. Make the right call with Renasant and get cell phone protection with Renasant Rewards Extra Checking. Sign up today.
$5 for my own money?
That's a bad call. Let's give him a Renasant replay. Sign up for Renasant Rewards Extra Checking with ATM refunds today.
Hey, Pam, what's that?
New slices and sticks. Half pizza, half Italian cheese sticks. What's that?
I spent a butter hump.
An unexpected combination, just $6.
Acres away!
Pizza. Introducing Slices and Sticks. 4 slices of pepperoni pizza together with 8 Italian cheese sticks. A combination as unexpected as the Saxa telephone.
Hey, Mom.
New Slices and Sticks, just $6.
Pizza. Registration for the spring semester is now open and classes are filling up fast at Itawamba Community College. Named the #1 community college in the state for the 2nd straight year by Wallet Hub, ICC offers 5 different class options with locations in Fulton, Tupelo, and Belden that will help save you time and money while preparing you for the future. Email one of our friendly advisors at eadvisor@iccms.edu or call 862-8000 to sign up for classes today. Itawamba Community College. The best start here. Welcome back as we turn our attention now to the basketball's upcoming seasons here at ICC. We'll start our conversation with Coach Robin Porter, who is in her 2nd season as the head coach of the women's basketball team, and we'll get her take on the team and the upcoming season as well. Then we'll talk to Coach Eric Bozeman. As we talked about earlier in the show, he is now the interim head coach for the men's basketball team, with Coach Grant Pate currently undergoing radiation and chemo treatments that will have him sidelined this season. And we'll talk a little bit more with that with Coach Bozeman in our interview. So let's jump to those interviews now here on the ICC Hour. All right, Coach, start of the season, it'll be here before you know it. So just talk about your excitement, the team's excitement to get the season started.
Well, after this little 5-6 week break, all the girls came in. They had a different energy, a different attitude. They just ready to play. I'm ready to play. I'm ready to coach them. It's just been exciting 2 days of practice. And next week, we scrimmage. After that, we can start season play. And I think it's going to be fun this year.
All right, Coach, you got 5 sophomores coming back, so that leaves you a whole bunch of new faces on the team. Sort of talk about those 5 sophomores, and then just sort of the freshmen and how they're coming along.
Our sophomores this year have showed great leadership. Each one has brought different things to the table to help the freshmen get ready. And I want to say the freshmen are more prepared for what's coming, and they know and they trust the sophomores. You got Shamaria, who's a returning point guard. She's going to be an access, a pushing guard. She's more of a pass than score, but she's always talking and communicating with him. You got Zaire out of Lafayette. She's just a hard-nosed kid. She plays hard, she rebounds hard, and you're going to hear her on the floor. She's just a positive kid. You just got to have that around the team. And Scarlett coming back as a shooter. We've been working on her just shooting it and relaxing, have the confidence. You got Mariah, who's a little lefty out there, and you know how left hands can be, but she's a great kid. And then you have a bigger post, Lamaya Pfeiffer, who's returning, and she's looking to bring that experience and bang even more on the inside for us.
Of course, you talking about a lefty, you know a little bit about that yourself, don't you?
My left hand and her left hand is different.
All right, well, let's take a look at some of the freshmen and just sort of talk about them and how they've been doing this season. Of course, I know you had a fall, but we get some fall games in there, but just talk about the freshmen, some of them that's kind of stood out to start the season.
Okay, some of the freshmen that stood out right away was Ardacity from Hickory Flat. She just a force to reckon with. She doesn't stop, she just go. She got one speed, and that's all she knows. And you have my other point guard coming in from Ripley, a hard-nosed kid, love basketball, a gym rat, just want to be in the gym all the time. And then an area kid, Didi, who went D1, but because of COVID decided to transfer back. And I think that's been the best decision she ever made. And she has come in and really helped, and she's been a positive leader, positive person, and she just brings another aspect to our game. Some more freshmen to be Nadia from Olive Branch. She's going, you know how Olive Branch system is, they got one speed. And so sometimes I think her feet get there before she does, but she's exciting, especially on defense. Her hands, her knack for the basketball, she's exciting to watch. You have Chloe from out of Yazoo, who's just a knockdown shooter. Got to have her on the floor. You have another area kid, Janice, who brings that, she's sort of like Zaire, but she brings a little more of outside shooting for us. Cleo, an out-of-state kid from Georgia. She's a 6'2" post. She's a banger inside. We getting a lot of her fundamentals out of the way. Once she gets the system and understands the system, she's going to be someone you want to watch throughout the year for us as well. I want to say that's about all of them. Yeah. That we got. I talked about a whole bunch.
You knocked out a good. So basically,
each person brings something to the table. It's now with just us putting it all together.
Yeah, gotcha. Now speaking of that, let's talk about the schedule. We were going to a different format. Didn't go to that format. Now we're going to do that. Didn't do this. But they do have the schedule set, and it's going to be a mirror schedule this year. So when you're at home, the men will be away. And when the men are at home, you'll be away. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm just glad that the kids get to play basketball. And, that's all they want to do. They want to have something extra to do to keep them occupied. So I know it's a mirror schedule. You want all the excitement. But at the end of the day, they came to school to play basketball and go to the next level. And so they're just excited about this opportunity that is given to them at this moment.
Yeah, now we talked to a couple of players before, and we'll talk about it because it's just part of the world today. The COVID factor. I know that it's not a factor. It's not a question of if. It's almost a question of when. It's going to become a factor. So how are you as a team, or you as a coaching staff, keeping your team focused on being smart and being safe?
Our quote for the team on the court is no excuses, make adjustment. Because you never know when a player's going to fall out, or not fall out, but be out because of COVID. Just make adjustments, be versatile, be ready to go at all times. So that's one of our biggest things is make adjustments, no excuses in practice.
And this season is more really and truly about you taking care of you, because you don't know if you're going to play that game that week, or you don't know if a key player is going to be out for you or for the opposing team. So talk about that mentality of saying, okay, it starts with us taking care of us.
Well, I kind of put, some pressure on them. Do you want to have a season? Mm-hmm. So if you want to have a season, you should do what it takes to have a season. Wear your mask. Be considerate of others. Basically, this semester, just be with your team.
Yeah.
Be with your family, and let's be great this semester.
Gotcha. And then let's talk about the division. It is the North Division, home and away. A little couple of wrinkles in there. You're going to play, I think, Delta and Northwest, an extra game.
We go to Northwest twice.
Yeah.
And Delta come to us twice.
So basically, still taking care of business like you got to take care of business in an always tough North Division.
Well, just go on the road. Whether you're on the road at home, you just got to be ready to play. No matter who's out there, what players you got, just make adjustments. I told them if you love what you do, you'll do what you love. And you'll do it best of your ability.
All right, and final thoughts, just before we get ready to tip this thing off.
I hope some of you get to see us play. We do have a great team. They're exciting. You won't be disappointed with them. Just enjoy the season.
I think
at this point, just enjoy the season. Whatever it, and make the best of it.
Absolutely, I think that's the best way to say it at all. Well, Coach Porter, I appreciate your time, and good luck this season.
Thank you, appreciate it.
That's home. That's just like the Ravens. That's just like Bozeman, Florida. That's my second home. I got my degree from there, my first degree, college degree. It's part of my heart, it's part of my soul, it's part of my spirit. And, it's everything. Itawamba Community College, baby, it's everything. It shaped me up to being a great man because it was part of the journey of me becoming the young man I am today. And it's home, man. That's it. Like, I could go there and lay my head down without no problems. Itawamba Community College, the best start here.
Why settle for a checking account that just holds your money? Renasant Rewards Extra gives you so much more. Like savings at more than 400,000 retailers, 24/7 roadside assistance, a cell phone protection plan worth up to $400, $25 in ATM fee refunds per monthly cycle, and a great interest rate when you meet 3 easy qualifications. Get extra today at rewardsextra.com. Renasant Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Maybe your story has you performing your new song in front of a crowd, getting to play your favorite sport, or enjoying a horseback ride in the country. At Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our group of skilled surgeons understand your need to continue your story. That is why we are the preferred choice for orthopedic care. Thank you for choosing us. Our story is you. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi.
I use ice cream as kind of for medicinal purposes, It just puts me in a good mood.
This would be so good for dinner.
Very crispy.
Spicy.
A little tang.
A crunch.
El crunch.
There's a lot of bacon on this thing. It's just oozing.
Delicious.
I just want dessert.
Give me some.
Very indulgent.
Now, this is delicious.
Shaky goodness.
It's a nice crunch.
Oh, that's dangerous.
What about the tots? Tots are everything.
Now we're joined by Coach Bozeman. Coach, before we get into it, let's just talk about the situation at hand. We learned earlier this week that Coach Pate is not going to be able to coach this season due to some illness. Rocks the team, but at the same time, going to give him a little extra motivation to play for Coach.
That's what we're hoping. It's hard to figure out kids' mindset these days when it comes to things like this, but All of them have been pretty positive. They've been pretty positive with him. He's definitely missed. He's definitely missed by me, and he's definitely missed by this team. So it's a next man up scenario, and we're all going to try and do the best we can and carry on without him.
Well, let's just go ahead and get into it. You guys just got out of practice. I know the biggest thing always coming off that Christmas break is getting the guys back in shape. But just talk about the mindset right now at practice to get ready for the season. It actually starts in a couple of weeks.
Well, they've got a good work ethic, and they had that when they left. We made a lot of progress before the break, but when you're out 5 weeks, it's almost like a new season, and you're starting over with a very short period of time. So we're trying to make that adjustment, trying to get them in shape, and you can't overdo it, and at the same time, you can't underdo it. So we're trying to find that happy medium in terms of working them really hard. But at the same time, we don't need injuries because of this. We don't need to lose anybody. COVID kind of takes us out a little bit anyway, so that's kind of where we are.
All right, now let's talk about some of the sophomores that's coming back this year, or the sophomores that are coming back this year. Talk about those guys and what they can contribute this season.
Well, we've only got one guy that's really significant, Brandon Brown. He's getting recruited by a lot of folks, and he played significant minutes, and he had a really good year last year for a freshman, so we're expecting big things out of him. Certainly he needs to improve his work ethic for him to reach the potential that he has, but we're going to lean on him a little bit. The other guys are really good. We've got TJ Wallace, who transferred in here from Mississippi Delta, that's right down the street from Amory. He had a really good first semester. He's a little banged up right now, but we're expecting great things out of him. And Rodarian Pendleton is Phi Theta Kappa, and he's going to help us a lot, and so is Shamontes Mitchell. So those guys are sophomores and leaders, and we're expecting them to step up their role a little bit this year.
And of course, in the JUCO ranks, when you're a freshman, you get thrown to the fire. You don't really have the extra year or two to get ready like you do on the 4-year level. So talk about your freshmen and what expectations for them.
Well, the 2 out-of-state guys is who you have to start with. Kean Mims and Rod Jones, both of them are really good players. Kean is about 6'6" and about 205, 210, and he's really good. He can play in and out, a really good passer. He's going to help us a lot. He's a starter right off the bat. And Rod Jones is a scorer. He can get that ball in the bucket, and he's got speed and quickness and athletic ability. So we're counting on him to do great things for us. Hunter Stacy has really been a nice surprise. He shoots the ball really well, and he's tougher than what we thought. Deshaun Berry out of Hulka is those Hulka guys, we lost a great one, but he just comes right in with a great attitude and a great work ethic, and he's a winner. So he's going to find time to get out there on that floor. We're missing Isaiah, and we're missing Walter Hamilton. Both of them got COVID issues right now. We hope to get them back in maybe 10 to 12 days. You just don't know. When you miss 5 weeks and you're going to miss another week and a half, it's just not good.
Right.
But that's part of it. So those guys are playing really hard. They're playing well, and we just hope to get them better.
And let's talk about that, just kind of building on that. As the season progresses, it's not if, it's almost when. You have to deal with COVID issues throughout the season. It's unique. Never had to deal with that before, but it's also almost like dealing with an injury. You just don't know when they're going to happen, so you can't really plan for it.
No, you can't. And it's not a day-by-day thing. It's almost an hour-by-hour thing. You don't know how many's going to show up for practice. You don't know who you're going to lose. And you're taking their temperature every day, and we're not a medical doctor. We just do the best we can, just like everybody everywhere else is, and you just move on. So we don't worry about the things we can't control. We just come to work every day, and that's got to be our motto, and that's what we have to do. Just come to work every day and do the best you can and leave it at that.
And a very unique schedule this year. Usually have double headers where girls go first, you guys go second right around 7:30. Not the case this year. You're going to be, when they're at home, you're on the road. When you're at home, they're on the road. So going to make for a quicker night, but it's going to be a very unique, different brand of basketball this year.
Yeah, it is, and I don't know. I've been around long enough when guys and girls played on different nights and played in different places, and that was really nice. So I'm looking at that as a positive. I don't think that's going to be a negative for us because now you get more time to warm up. You're riding the bus and you're not as crowded.
Right.
You don't have to wait all day to get your food or whatever. But I'm looking at that as a positive for us. But with so many sports playing this spring, our administration has an unbelievable job that they have to do to get transportation for all these sports that have been backed up to the spring. So that's going to be interesting in itself.
Well, any final thoughts coming into the season?
No, man, I just pray for Coach Pate and wish him the best, and I talk to him 3-4 times a day. I usually start my day with him and end my day with him after practice and keep him up with what's going on. And man, that dude's watching a lot of film. You can't keep him. He's unbelievable. Yeah. He has an unbelievable work ethic. So he's watching film. He's getting us prepared for Mississippi Delta and Mid-South next week. So I just wish him the best, man. I miss him so much, and I just pray and hope that he just gets better and gets over this thing and comes back real quick.
Absolutely, and I think that's a great note to end on. Coach, I appreciate your time, and good luck this season.
Thank you so much.
Registration for the spring semester is now open and classes are filling up fast at Itawamba Community College. Named the #1 community college in the state for the second straight year by Wallet Hub, ICC offers 5 different class options with locations in Fulton, Tupelo, and Belden that will help save you time and money while preparing you for the future. Email one of our friendly advisors at eadvisor@iccms.edu or call 862-8000 to sign up for classes today. Itawamba Community College, the best start here.
So when are you going to give me back for the pizza?
Oh, personal foul. Let's give him a Renasant replay. Make a successful handoff when you transfer funds to friends and family with Zelle and the Renasant mobile app. Let's give him a Renasant replay. Make the right call for 24/7 roadside assistance and sign up for Renasant Rewards Extra Checking today.
Davis Ford in Fulton is your Ford dealer for new cars, trucks, and SUVs and has a wide inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Find your next dream car or truck from our Ford showroom or go online to davisfordsales.com and search our new and used inventory to see what is on our lot. So stop by and test drive the all-new fuel-efficient Ford Focus or Ford Fusion or the new Ford Explorer or F-150. Go further with Davis Ford, 904 West Main Street in Fulton or online davisfordsales.com.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Maybe your story has you performing your new song in front of a crowd, getting to play your favorite sport, or enjoying a horseback ride in the country. At Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our group of skilled surgeons understand your need to continue your story. That is why we are the preferred choice for orthopedic care. Thank you for choosing us. Our story is you. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi.
Today tastes like game day at home, like assigned couch seating. Tastes like coffee table dining and an ice-cold Coke to cool down the heat. It tastes like the game you've waited for all week with friends you've known your whole life. Today tastes like watching football is supposed to. And it never tasted this good. Coca-Cola. Together tastes better.
Registration for the spring semester is now open and classes are filling up fast at Itawamba Community College. Named the #1 community college in the state for the second straight year by Wallet Hub, ICC offers 5 different class options with locations in Fulton, Tupelo, and Belden that will help save you time and money while preparing you for the future. Email one of our friendly advisors at eadvisor@iccms.edu or call 862-8000 to sign up for classes today. Itawamba Community College, the best start here. And welcome back one final time here for the ICC Hour. As we close things out, I want to thank our guests for this week's show, Dr. Jay Allen, Coach Priscilla Morgan, Coach Robin Porter, and Coach Eric Bozeman for taking time to join the show. If you happen to miss any of today's show or any previous shows, you can find them on YouTube by simply searching the ICC Hour, or they are available on the on-demand section of letsgoicctv.com. As we close out the show, we want to say goodbye to a great friend and advocate of Itawamba Community College, Mr. Thomas Griffith. Mr. Griffith served as a devoted member of the ICC Board of Trustees representing Monroe County and was a member of the ICC Alumni Board. He was an avid supporter of all things ICC and will be greatly missed by many.